Here's the top that we made before this video, and then we're gonna try to cut some legs out of these slabs.
Hi, I'm Jesse. Doing a little work here. Actually just sharpening up some chisels. In our workspace here, we've learned that if you keep your tools in good condition, it definitely helps you out when you got, limited supplies and limited things to work with. But right now we're starting out working with a oak table. Got the top laminated up. We're going to do some legs on that, do a little bit of taper on them, make them with a kind of an Asian or an oriental look, if you will.
Just a short shot of some of the planing that we had to do with it. This is the DeWalt 12.5-inch thickness planer. I love this thing. It's definitely paid for itself. As you can see here, there was some cracking during the drying time. This comes from improper drying. We're gonna try to do the measurements to work around that. Now it's time to cut the rough dimensions of the boards. Should be noted that there was no plans for this project. It all was just kind of on the spot. I had a general idea of what I wanted to do in my head just from a picture I'd seen, but still wanted to make it my own. The final product actually didn't look anything like what the picture I seen looked like. It was just some of the oriental curves, I guess you would call them, that was on the other project that I said, I bet I can apply this to a table. So gonna measure out the rough length, the rough width, give us a little room to play with, do it to both legs, and work around these cracks so that there's as little waste as possible. Now it's time to rough cut the length. Always like to rough cut the length with the skill saw first. Now I think we missed a video. Jesse took the miter saw and cut the ends to exact dimensions once we knew we were at where we wanted to be at. We forgot to record that, but yeah, there is a step in here where just to get the exact length, we took a miter saw to it. Now, since we've cut the rough length of the legs, we're gonna cut the width of it. And since we're using this table saw, it's not gonna be the rough width. We've set the guide to exactly what we need it to be, so we're cutting exactly what we need. And as you can tell from our lines, and after we get through cutting this first side, what's left from the next side, we've really reduced our waste by cutting around the crack that was a result from drying, and we won't have too much waste here at all.
Okay, after cutting them down to 2.5 inches wide by 18 1/4 inches long, we've chosen this one. We know we want to keep this grain, so we're going to draw our rough taper onto this leg, and then after cutting out that rough taper onto that, we're going to use this as a template for our other ones after we decide which side we want to use, which side has the better grain.
Feel the ends of them. Anyways, what we're going to do with this is, so we got 2.5 up here down to 1 1/4 inches here. I always like to put X's on my waist, that way if for some reason when we get to cutting it you get caught up with the saw and the noises and one piece looks like the other. I don't think that'll happen on this one, but if one piece looks like the other, you know which one you want to cut or which one you want to keep and which one's just extra. That way, because it can happen, and then you don't want to get in a situation where you, after you've cut, you have to decide which one you need and which one you don't need. You know, it just helps with the flow of progress. So what we're doing is coming down from 2.5 to 1 1/4 inches, coming down from, I think, 1 3/4, because of the it was a little over 2 inches, but we with the plane, how much we had to take off, it's now right at about 1 3/4 down to 1 1/4 inches. So took off about 1/2 inch here, and this will be the part that connects to the top. This will be the part that makes contact with the floor. This will be the part that connects with the top. This will be the part that makes contact with the floor. And it's going to be a little bit of a unique project because we're going to have to take off a little more material in the middle on this face and this face, and then on this face and this face we're going to take off a little more at the edges. That's that oriental style curvature to the legs that Jesse was talking about. Instead of just a natural taper where it gets smaller on every side the whole way down or up, it's actually going to have a bit of a curve to it as it tapers. Be really nice, I think. And we're doing this we're going to burn this afterwards. Just the face of it is going to have a burnt finish on it. It's not going to have a stain or oil or a dye. It's going to be authentically burnt. And Jesse's actually outside right now with a spare piece of this, because these are two different trees. He's outside with a spare piece of this and a spare piece of that kiln dried to make sure that it does burn the same, looks the same, has the same finish. If it doesn't mean that the project's blown, because all 4 legs are made out of the same tree and the top's made out of the same tree. Therefore, it may just give us a different tone within the same breed of wood or species of wood, I guess. So that's not to say it won't look, it still look good. It may look better that way, but we're just curious and want to see and make sure, because like I said, this was dried up here, the other piece was kiln dried. So that's it for now. We're going to make these cuts. Probably just going to do basic cuts on the table saw we were using earlier to cut these out, and then we'll come back. You'll get to see us use our it's not a draw knife, it's a little two-handed plane. I forget the name of it. You guys have seen me in the groups and stuff, especially Unplugged Woodworkers. You guys know more than anything that I cannot remember the name of some of my tools, and you know, shame on me. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sure somebody's going to be in the comments with the name of that tool, and by that time it's too late, because when I get it out of the pack, it's got the name on the pack. But anyways, thanks for watching. Be back in just a minute. Spoke shave. The name of the tool is a spoke shave, and it's a Stanley. Here's a shot of Jesse cleaning it up with the sander after I took the spoke shave to it. I didn't get a shot using a spoke shave on it. Wish I could have, just didn't get to.
Clean everything up with the spoke shave, and you're actually looking at the table leg upside down. It'll be like this. The tops will be joined using mortis and tenon joinery.
A quick shot just trying to show off the curve of the leg. I promise guys, these videos, the quality of them will get better, but hopefully you can see the curve of the legs that we've been trying to explain. Okay, here we're squaring off the top. Now the top isn't going to be perfectly square, but we have to square it off and then add the curvature to it. We're going to have it recess just in the middle a little bit, so the outside corners are going to be the longest, and then it's going to curve in and then come back out to the next corner. I don't think we got a video of actually drawing the curve on, but there is a video of Jesse cutting the curve. Required too many hands to hold everything in place to draw the curve. Sorry, we'll try to do better next time. But essentially what I'm doing is I've got my straight line, and then I'll find the center, and if I want that curve to come back an inch, then I'll find the center, and then I'll measure back from dead center just that 1 inch, so that I know that the apex of the curve or the center of that curve is dead center of the wood. Now here's a shot of Jesse cutting out that curve. You'll see the curve on both sides so that you can get a better understanding of what we're talking about, what our goal was. We don't have a bandsaw, or I guess that's the correct name for it. Well, we do have one. It's just out of commission right now. We have to get the gaskets to go around the wheels, and then we have to get an actual saw blade for it. We're gonna try to wait till we get a little more revenue coming in before we get that up and running, but that'll be so handy on stuff like this, and projects we've done in the past, it would have come in handy. Hopefully in the future we'll be able to use it and put it to work. I didn't record all 4 sides because I didn't think you guys would appreciate being bored to death. Here's a quick list of the stuff that I'm going to use to secure the legs to the table. Got the soapy water so that I can take a sponge, just wipe the excess glue off real quick. Here's a quick shot after I got all 4 legs put on and clamped. Some of you old heads are probably thinking, does he really think that's going to work? I did, but it didn't. So we ended up going back and taking a little extra time to put some facial boards on to stabilize the legs and hold them in place, and we put those on with dowels as well. Really made it work. Here's a shot of the legs after we removed them from the top. We put facial boards on all 4 sides and then put them back onto the top. Really nice and sturdy now. Now here's a shot of the finished product. We did make a second video just to show how to burn it. This is after 1 coat of 2-part epoxy. I think we ended up putting 3 on it. I really like the way this finished product turned out. I think the facial boards made it look even better. If you guys enjoyed this video or just didn't hate it, then bear with us. They will get better. We're gonna upgrade our equipment. I'm getting better at editing. Be sure to like and subscribe, and stay in touch. Stay tuned. We're gonna show you every bit inside this journey.